This is my day in the life as a trainee cardiac sonographer, and today we're going to be doing satellite echoes, which means a lot of moving around and a lot of traveling. Our first remote site was a hospital, and I started setting up for the day, waiting for the big man to arrive, and here he is. This is Ari, my senior. Today we're using the Vivid IQ, a portable ultrasound system, which is perfectly great for this kind of mobile work that we do. These are the parasternal long axis images from the first patient, and I'm measuring our end diastole and end systole to obtain our Tycholt ejection fraction. Then I measured my aortic root at the start of the QRS and my LVOT measurement at mid-systole. Once we've obtained the 2D images, we can use our color to check if any regurgitant jets, a quick look at the parasternal short axis at the tricuspid, aortic and pulmonary valves. I managed to get my parasternals done pretty quickly, so I ended up moving on to my apical windows. I then ran my color Doppler through the mitral inflow, and there was apparent trivial mitral regurgitation for this patient. When we pulse wave the 5-chamber, we want to make sure that the sample volume is just above the valve, and we can see clearly we're in the right spot from the closing click in our trace signal. Making sure I wipe the probe, so Ari's happy. So today's discussion ended up being about cardiac amyloidosis, which is an infiltrative condition where we have proteins building up in the heart muscle, and this can sometimes affect our overall cardiac function. Ari was explaining that cardiac amyloid has this distinct rosebud pattern that we'll see on our GLS, which shows us a reduced function with apical sparing specifically. Little side note, Ari's also worked in 13 countries, so go Ari. First satellite site is all done, a quick pack up and clean, and we're on our way. Although running satellite echo clinics can mean a lot of traveling, it keeps the day very interesting. It also means we get to sneak in a little cheeky Lebanese breakfast every now once in a while. This is me teaching Ari how to say fateh and blahm ajin. After we had our sufficient protein intake, it was on to the next satellite site, and this one was also at another hospital, but it wasn't too far away, luckily. It's also where my favorite receptionist is located, so it's always good seeing her and being able to distract her from all the quote-unquote lives she has to save. And while I was being delulu, I didn't realize Ari had already come in and set up for the next patient, so sorry Ari. So I quickly made up for it and got straight into it. And looking at our pulmonary arteries, we can see that the patient had trivial regurgitation, which is, seen by this little red candle-like jet. Our interatrial septum was intact with no color sign of a PFO or ASD. Little side note, 1 in 4 people are born with this little hole in the heart with their baby, so it's important to make sure we check it in every single view. This is the mitral valve at the parasternal short axis, and another on-axis apical 4-chamber, which is really bright and well-defined with that myocardial definition. A small trivial flash of mitral regurg, but nothing to be worried about. An important measurement of diastolic dysfunction are going to be our pulmonary veins. If in the event the patient had moderate to severe mitral regurgitation just from color flow, we can pulse the veins to look for any flow reversal and then grade it as severe. The patient ended up having mild tricuspid regurgitation, and the jet itself is wider and denser with the color flow. We can confirm that with the continuous wave signal as well. So for any sonographers watching, don't just tilt to open to the 5-chamber. Try and go as lateral as possible with the patient, and this will help make sure that the transducer is perfectly aligned with flow, and you can also use your sound to guide you to find the highest velocity.